Okay guys, here's my 47-hour, almost 50-hour review. Just thought I'd start with the dipstick here. I know it's not full because I haven't let it drain back yet, but just having a look at the quality of the oil. It's still clean. That's with about 20 hours on that oil change. It doesn't feel gritty, it feels nice. The oil's nice and clean. I'll just try and do that bit of yoga dipstick here again to try and get that back in. I'll check that later when it's fully drained back down and make sure the oil level is right. Just takes a little while to drain down. Remember, you don't want it full to the brim because it doesn't actually really like that. The air filter, the carburetor side of the air filter is pretty clean. This side here, a little bit of dust for 50 hours again. This air filter's had 50 hours on it. I'll put that back together a bit later. All in all, machine's running beautiful. It's really nice and smooth. The foam cushion on the steps probably a must. It saves your knees a little bit. I'm pretty happy with the cooling system. This fan here is just blowing enough cool air in to supply nice, cool, clean air to the carburetor. Not overpowering system. The engine's staying nice and cool. I've achieved a good compromise between hydraulic temperature, engine temperature and operator comfort. The whole thing's maintaining a nice temperature there. The hottest I've ever had it up to is about 65 degrees. Running the tiller, and it's a pretty thirsty little beast. I haven't had to do any work to it other than tension and tighten the tracks. They have come off once. One side I just backed up and popped it back on. The tracks are getting a little worn, and I have ordered another set, a heavier duty set, but they won't get here for a couple of months, so I'll probably have about 80 hours on these tracks by the time they get replaced. The 4-in-1 bucket is a must. I've never even tried the standard bucket. This holds more, it's got greater capacity, more versatile. You don't have to constantly chop and change. The bucket teeth are a must. Change it into a complete digging beast. I mean, it just really scraped across the top before you put those on, and now it just digs back in. You'll see a video where I just made some garden beds. Still uses plenty of grease. There's still lots of slop in all of these pins, but that's just standard and normal. You can see here I've gone and greased it this morning and got that a little bit everywhere, so I might have to clean that off at some stage. But all in all, 50 hours, no troubles. Great little machine. I don't imagine you could live without one, to be honest. The fueling system's working great. Probably didn't really need a electric fuel pump and all of that, but I do live on a pretty steep property. As you can see, it just goes straight down the hill down there. And when you're getting low on fuel and you start pointing up the hill, you definitely need that. So we'll just give this a little start up. I think it runs beautifully now. Nice and crisp. Doesn't backfire when I shut it down. That's all working perfectly. I would recommend a tachometer. I think that's a great thing to give you an idea of revs. I found that really heavy, really good. So like for general use, I probably run this machine at around 3,400, 3,500 RPM. But if I'm really pushing it hard and I'm running one of these really thirsty attachments, I'll crank the speed up to 3,800 RPM, which is standard or maximum unloaded RPM. Out of all the attachments, which ones are the best? Well, this guy here is definitely the most thirsty and hard on the machine. It's probably the only attachment that I think has the potential to make the machine run hot. And I think that probably this particular motor needed a bypass valve similar to what the trench has got. The augers, they're amazing. I use them all the time. I love my leveling bar. I use that pretty regularly as well, especially with the 4-in-1. I can just grab it and go for a drive and use them both at the same time. The log grab needs some work. I want to modify that, so it's just sort of parked up there for a little while. The trencher worked much better than expected, especially in hard ground. And you can see here on this guy, it's got the third hose, so it's got a bypass. So when it locks up, it actually diverts that oil back into the system, so it doesn't let the machine get hot. That's where the tiller goes wrong. So I think the tiller probably needs a third one. But let's face it, we're only using the tiller briefly and for small little projects. It's not like we're running it all the time. The stump grinder has been fair. You can see here the number of stumps, number of tanks of fuel, and the number of times I've had to repair the guy. I'm keeping a running tab on it. I've done a bunch of smaller stumps as well, but they're not listed on there. The grader blade, that's a bloody handy piece of gear. I think everybody should have one of those if you've got property. The auger drive and the log breaker. Rock breaker. I haven't even actually tried that yet. That's a to-do job. So all in all, at 50 hours, I think it's going strong. I don't anticipate any trouble with it. I guess we all never anticipate any trouble, but you know, see how we go.